Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you guys are having a good day. My name is Eddie, and I'm going to be doing a stand up video today where I do some live coding and explain my thought process while I'm coding. So, in this one, what I want to create is I think it's not the card. I want to integrate, I think it's called sheet, somewhere in here. Sheet? Boom. Yep. I want to integrate this sort of thing for my platform UI here. So I'm just going to try and get into it. I've already installed it. There's a few things you need to do to install the Shed CN UI component library for Next.js. You can just go to the website. I didn't have to create the app. I just ran this npx init for the Shed CN UI library, and then when I go to here, I can add the sheet component. I had to do some extra stuff also. I already have it imported here, but I am importing it from the technically this is a relative path, but just telling it where to go instead of using the @ modifier that they have here. But cool. So I'm just going to get into coding this thing up, and we'll just stop when I need to talk about what I'm doing. Cool. Okay, so that does basically what we were set out to do. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. But I'm going to go over the component real quick. It's very basic. Let me just... I always feel like I get to a point where I want to talk about it, and then I see just a few little nitpicky mistakes that I want to fix, but there we go. And just as a side-by-side comparison, I'm going to move this over here. So we start with this sheet component, and what we need is this sheet trigger, and the trigger is going to be the thing that we click that ends up creating the sheet to pop out. And what I did here was I just created a card, basically like we have here, but this card is just gonna have an image with this little plus icon in it. Some good old developer art, you know. Doesn't have to be pretty while we test, and we can kind of make it pretty later on the road. Then we have the sheet content for the sheet, and right now all we have is a header with a title inside of it, but eventually we're going to add a form in here that users can fill out and click submit on, and when they submit it, it will create one of these sheets for us. So I think that's going to be the next thing that I start working on, is getting that sheet on, getting that sheet to have the form in it. Sorry, that music change totally threw me off. You know, you change the vibe just a little bit, and instantly your brain stops working. So right now, I am just going to do this with the entire form, but eventually we don't really want that auth token there, do we? We want, and the user ID should come from our actual JWT. And that submit button didn't do anything, but did it actually work? And it did. It did create it. So basically what we want to happen is the action probably shouldn't happen on the form. The action in this case seems like it's happening on the button. You can totally click the submit button when data is not in there. So maybe we'll take a look at that bug later. I don't want to think about that one too much. But yeah. Yeah, so that is our little sheet feature using the Shad CN UI. Pretty cool little library there, component library for React and Next.js. I think they also do all the other stuff like Astro, and you can actually see here because in the installation they do Remix, Gatsby, Laravel, literally everything. So really cool component library. Right now we're taking in this user and auth token, but I'm probably going to remove that in the next video so that we're not taking in the user ID and the auth token. We're actually just going and getting the user ID from the JWT that we pass in, and then in here, where is it at? When we post to the kube config, we're gonna probably add that authentication token as one of the parameters along with the form data. And that should get us to a point where we don't need those two things, and we could just give it a label, a description, and the config file, and hit submit, and it should go on. There is another little bug here that if we submit with nothing in there, the form still closes, so maybe I'll add something else in there, see if I could tweak it so that it doesn't close that way. But in any case, that will be something for the next video that you guys should be looking out for. So please remember to subscribe so that when I do make that video, you guys get to see it. Hit that like button, bell icon, you guys all know what to do. And comment down below if you guys had any questions or just comments, or if there's anything that you want me to add or see. And yeah, I get to all of those. So yeah, have a good one, and bye bye, see you in the next one.